Beyond the veil of our perception, in the uncounted infinities of the multiverse, lie truths that defy our understanding. For eons, whispers have traveled across the cosmic void, tales of objects not born of our familiar dimensions, but woven from the very fabric of divergent realities. They are relics of the impossible, tools of forgotten sciences, or fragments of magic from worlds that never were, and yet profoundly are. These are not mere legends, they are echoes of existence, artifacts imbued with power that could unravel our known universe or reshape it entirely. Tonight, we delve into 10 such stories. 10 encounters with the profound, the perilous, and the undeniably alien. Prepare yourself, for the ordinary no longer applies.
Story 1. The Kronos Shard. In the cold expanse of 1974, within the Siberian permafrost, a drilling team unearthed an anomaly, a crystal shard, impossibly smooth, emitting a chilling cold that defied its surrounding temperature. This was the Kronos Shard, a fragment believed to originate from a reality where time itself solidified into a tangible mineral. Its properties were profound and terrifying. Exposure to the shard did not merely slow time, it fractured the temporal awareness of living beings, trapping them in recursive loops of moments, their present endlessly replaying. A lead researcher, Dr. Lena Petrova, spent a week studying its effects, sealed within a reinforced chamber. When the chamber was finally opened, Petrova was found in a state of suspended animation, reliving the moment of her discovery, her eyes locked onto a perpetual silent scream. The shard had encased her consciousness in an eternal, inescapable instant. The Kronos Shard was immediately reburied in an unmarked, highly guarded cryogenic vault, its existence purged from official records, a silent testament to time's unforgiving nature. Story 2. The Ethereal Loom. Discovered in the labyrinthine depths of the Angkor Thom ruins, not entombed but grown within a hidden chamber, was the Ethereal Loom. It was not a machine, but an organic construct of iridescent fibers pulsating with an internal luminescence. Analysis suggested its origin was a world where thought itself could manifest reality, and the loom was a focal point, a convergence of consciousness. Those who touched its threads claimed to weave pure thought into tangible form, though the creations were ephemeral, fading with the slightest doubt. A covert expedition in 1998 sought to harness its power. The lead mystic, a man named Kalen, envisioned a portal to a world of endless flora. For a fleeting moment, the chamber erupted with impossible luminescent blossoms that breathed like living creatures. But Kalen, overwhelmed, lost his focus. The vibrant flora instantly withered, crumbling to dust, and Kalen himself collapsed, his mind irrevocably shattered by the sheer mental strain. The loom, having tasted a powerful creation, retreated further into its organic cocoon, its luminosity dimming, awaiting a mind strong enough to withstand its true potential. Story 3. The Lumina Codex. The Lumina Codex, a book without a discernible author or written script, appeared in the Vatican's secret archives in 1642. It was unlike any manuscript. Its pages bore no ink, only shifting patterns of pure light. Scholars who dared to gaze upon its illuminated passages claimed to instantly comprehend vast cosmic truths or fundamental principles of physics yet undiscovered. Its origin was hypothesized to be a realm where information was not merely communicated, but existed as a living, sentient energy field. In 1703, Cardinal Alessio Moretti, driven by insatiable curiosity, attempted to transcribe its shifting patterns. For 3 days he pored over the codex, his mind absorbing the light. On the fourth morning, he was found lucid but mute, his eyes reflecting the patterns of the book. He possessed infinite knowledge, yet could not communicate a single concept. His mind had become a repository, not a conduit. The Lumina Codex was subsequently sealed in a lead-lined vault, its light now perpetually veiled, its silent wisdom deemed too potent for human assimilation. Story 4. The Echoing Orb. Unearthed in the desolate plains of the Atacama Desert in 2005, the Echoing Orb was a sphere of unknown composition, cool to the touch and possessing an uncanny weight. When held, it began to shimmer, projecting vivid, detailed scenes into the minds of those nearby. These were not memories, but alternate histories. A Roman Empire that mastered flight, a Mesoamerican civilization that colonized the moon, a world where humanity never left the oceans. The orb was theorized to be a sensor, or perhaps even a recording device, from a reality where all potential timelines manifest physically. Dr. Alastair Finch, a historian, dedicated months to studying its projections. He became fixated on a timeline where his own family had been spared a particular tragedy. He spent days immersed, attempting to interact with the projected world to alter it. The orb, however, merely reflected possibilities. It did not allow interaction. Finch ultimately lost the ability to distinguish reality from the orb's echoes, his mind irrevocably trapped within the captivating yet ultimately false parallel existences. The echoing orb now rests in a shielded research facility, its projections contained, its allure understood as a potent form of mental imprisonment. Story 5. The Obsidian Mirror. Found in the dark catacombs beneath Paris in 1888, the obsidian mirror was not crafted of glass, but of volcanic material unnaturally smooth and reflective. Its most disturbing property was its ability to show not the viewer's reflection, but that of their counterpart in an adjacent reality. Some saw slight variations, a scar absent, a different hairstyle. Others witnessed profound divergence. A vibrant, successful artist reflected back at a struggling street sweeper, or a brutal dictator gazing upon a gentle healer. It was believed to be a passive gateway, or perhaps a diagnostic tool, from a world obsessed with mapping existential probability. A young Parisian named Cécile was among the first to stumble upon it. For weeks, she visited the mirror, captivated by the reflection of a life she could only dream of, a life of joy and prosperity. Over time, her own reflection began to dim, her vital energy draining, as if the mirror was siphoning her essence to fuel the parallel self. Cécile eventually faded into a shadow of her former self, a live-in husk, her true self seemingly absorbed by the vibrant image in the dark glass. The obsidian mirror was walled off, its existence now a cautionary tale of lives unseen and paths untaken. Story 6. The Cadence Key. Deep within the forgotten monasteries of the Himalayas, preserved in absolute silence for centuries, lay the Cadence Key. It was not a key for a lock, but for vibrations. Crafted from an unknown, resonant metal, it pulsed with a faint internal light. When struck, it produced not a sound, but a multi-tonal frequency that caused localized shifts in reality. It was a tool, perhaps, from a civilization that navigated existence through harmonic resonance, using sound as a means of dimensional travel. In 1937, a reclusive monk, Brother Tenzin, sought to use the key to escape an impending conflict. He calibrated its frequencies, aiming for a peaceful, unscarred parallel. He struck the key. For a moment, the monastery walls dissolved into pure light, revealing an impossibly serene landscape. But Tenzin, overwhelmed by the sheer sensory input, lost his resolve. The portal collapsed instantly. He was found hours later, unharmed, but the monastery itself had vanished, leaving only a perfectly circular patch of scorched earth. The Cadence Key was gone, having either been taken with the displaced monastery or having dissolved into the raw energy it manipulated. Story 7. The Vitric Seed. In 2011, during a deep-sea exploration of the Mariana Trench, a submersible discovered a crystalline object embedded in the seabed, emitting a faint, rhythmic pulse. This was the Vitric Seed, a self-replicating crystalline organism from a reality where life evolved as structured energy rather than biological matter. When exposed to specific mineral compositions, it could grow entire ecosystems of crystalline flora and fauna in mere hours. Its potential for terraforming was immense, but its growth was insatiable. A clandestine research team attempted to cultivate it in a controlled environment, aiming to create a self-sustaining energy source. They provided a small chamber with purified minerals. The seed began to grow, first forming intricate crystal formations, then complex geometric flora. But its growth rate exponentially accelerated, consuming all available matter, including the very air within the chamber, converting it into new, ever larger crystalline structures. The chamber imploded, unable to contain the immense pressure of its rapid expansion. The Vitric Seed now lies dormant, re-encased in a containment unit that starves it of all necessary elements. Its terrifying capacity for uncontrolled genesis understood.
Story 8. The Cipher Clock. The cipher clock, an enigma of brass and strange, unidentifiable metals, was discovered in an abandoned Swiss observatory in 1904. It possessed no conventional numerals, only a series of rotating dials etched with symbols that pulsed with an internal violet light. This artifact did not measure time as we know it, but rather the convergence of possibilities, charting the ebb and flow of multiversal probabilities. Its origin was hypothesized to be a reality where the future was not fixed, but a probabilistic landscape. Professor Anton Kessel, a mathematician, believed it could predict the most likely future outcomes. He spent years observing its intricate dance, charting the symbolic shifts. He began to anticipate events with uncanny accuracy, predicting market crashes and political upheavals. However, his understanding was not of cause and effect, but merely probability. He saw a future where his choices led to his ruin, and, despite knowing it, found himself unable to deviate from the probable path the clock displayed. Kessel, trapped by his own deterministic knowledge, succumbed to the very fate the clock had revealed. The cipher clock remains in the observatory, its complex mechanism still turning, endlessly charting futures that are, by their very nature, unalterable once perceived. Story 9. The Sumnus Scepter. The Sumnus Scepter, a relic of impossible grace, was found within a buried Egyptian tomb in 1922, its presence incongruous with the sarcophagi around it. Made of an unknown material that shimmered with deep blues and purples, its tip culminated in a swirling orb of ethereal mist. This scepter was not for waking, but for dreaming. It could draw the consciousness of an individual into collective dreamscapes or even parallel dream universes where logic was mutable and reality fluid. It was believed to hail from a world where existence itself was primarily a shared dream. A young archaeologist, Dr. Evelyn Reed, inadvertently activated it. For days, she lay in a profound coma, her mind traversing landscapes of impossible beauty and terrifying abstraction. While her body remained in our world, her consciousness was entirely immersed in these alternate dreamscapes, interacting with entities woven from subconscious thought. When the scepter was finally removed from her vicinity, she awoke, but her mind had become a tapestry of multiple realities. She spoke in languages unknown, described impossible architectures, and often mistook the waking world for another layer of sleep. The Sumnus Scepter was locked away, its capacity to transport consciousness to dream realms deemed too dangerous for the unprepared mind. Story 10. The Glacial Prism.
Discovered encased within an ancient Antarctic ice sheet in 2018, the glacial prism was a colossal crystalline formation, unnervingly cold to the touch, yet impervious to melting. Within its facets, observers occasionally glimpsed distorted, miniature landscapes of alien beauty. Cities built on the surface of gas giants, forests of living light, or oceans of liquid metal. It was a fragment of a barrier, or perhaps a containment vessel, from a universe where pockets of alternate realities could be physically isolated. A research team led by geophysicist Dr. Eris Thorne attempted to analyze its internal structures using focused energy. As they increased the power, one of the internal miniature landscapes within the prism began to expand, distorting the air around the crystal. For a terrifying minute, a small section of their research station was violently consumed, warped into a swirling vortex of shimmering light and impossible geometries, its physical matter fundamentally restructured. The power was immediately cut. The glacial prism, having briefly touched upon its true nature as a localized reality anchor, retreated into its frozen dormancy, leaving a perfectly smooth, unblemished section of the station's wall as a chilling testament to its momentary destructive power. It remains sealed, a frozen gateway to realities best left untouched. These 10 accounts, drawn from the fringes of documented existence, paint a stark picture. They are not fables or cautionary tales. They are glimpses into the profound, unnerving reality that our universe is but one thread in an infinitely complex tapestry. The Chronos shard, the ethereal loom, the Lumina codex, the echoing orb, the obsidian mirror, the cadence key, the vitric seed, the cipher clock, the somnus scepter, the glacial prism, each an anomaly, a breach, a whispered secret from beyond the known. They serve as a chilling reminder. Our understanding of existence is finite, perhaps even fragile. For every artifact we have encountered and painstakingly cataloged, countless others remain lost, waiting, or perhaps actively shifting between the membranes of reality. We live upon a thin boundary, unaware of the tides of causality and probability that flow around us. The true power of these parallel worlds lies not in their magic, but in their sheer, boundless existence. They remind us that the ordinary is a comforting illusion, and the universe, in its terrifying splendor, is perpetually, defiantly larger than we can ever truly comprehend. And sometimes its echoes find their way to us.